what a way to start a video, right? Here I am just crashing my head off the ground. Hey, it's Kyle with Dirt Bike Channel here. I'm not even riding my bike at this time. This video was shot about a month ago on a ride when we were going out and doing some testing in southern Utah on the 2020 Beta 2 or 300 RR. And I had ridden that 300 for a couple of hours, and then I just swapped over to Tyler's bike, and I am constantly amazed how much you can learn by swapping from bike to bike to bike on a ride. You just learn so much about how they handle and how much different they feel. And right about this time, I'm going, wow, this KTM still feels so much more soft and supple than the Beta, even though we've revalved the suspension. So more work coming on the Beta later. But this video was so interesting because as I'm recording this, I'm listening back to the video, and you can hear me. In just a second, I'm going to crash Tyler's bike pretty violently. At least I hit lava rock really hard, ruined the helmet. I'm not going to use the helmet again, and you can hear me. At this point, I'm like, wait a second, I think he's got a flat tire, because just some of the things that was happening on the bike as I'm riding up here, I'm like, I think he's got a flat tire, and you'll hear me say it in a whisper, and then you'll see me looking over the front wheel to see if it's flat, and then I'm like, oh, forget about it, and then I make a mistake and lose it and get offline. Here, let me show you what I'm talking about.
I think you might have it, but I think you might have it. Oh. Oh.
So yeah, second ride out on that helmet, and I hit my head so hard on the ground, I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna retire that helmet, because they're only made to take one impact. But the funny part about that is I couldn't even remember that and people say concussion, but I didn't remember that I thought the tire was flat. It took me, I took a break for about 12 minutes or 15 minutes according to the time code here before I get out and start riding again. And in that time of me smacking my head and my side, dude, my side and my hip hurt so bad from slamming the rock there that I forgot about thinking that the front tire was flat, and I'm just kind of out of my game a little bit because I've smashed my freaking head off the ground. And so I just start going, and Tyler and Garrett are behind me, and it won't be for another, I don't know, I'm going to ride here for several more minutes before I give the bike back to Tyler. And then as soon as he gets on the bike, he's going to notice that it's got a flat front tire. This is me just continuing to go and just like, okay, I'm just going, and I'm, just toughing it out or whatever, even though I'm in quite a bit of pain after that crash. And I'd had a rough day because earlier in the day I tipped the Beta off the hill and then upside down on it, and it was just not a great day for me. And so I'm just trying to push through it, not even realizing that the front tire on this bike is flat. Now, it might not have been all the way flat, but by the time Tyler got on it, it was flat. So I think we had a slow leak on it, and it probably just leaked out slowly to me. Here's that one cool spot, 6 inches for certain death. But you'll see me just kind of do pivot turns up here and get the bike up the hill and get it going. And it's crazy. It's crazy that you can ride on a flat front tire out in the middle of all this rocky stuff and, just keep going and not even really realize it, because you pounded your head. So people are going to say, hey, you must have had a concussion. Well, I didn't lose consciousness or anything. I didn't feel like I was concussed at all. But yeah, the helmet did its job, and I'm riding on a flat front tire, and I even say it right before I hit the ground. I'm like, I think something's wrong with his. I think his tire is flat. I look over the bike twice, look over the front tire twice, and then I forget about it, and then boom, third gear, kind of get offline, and the next thing you know, I'm bouncing my head off the ground. Good times, man. Want to hear something sad? This is straight talk. As I watch the front tire slam through this stuff, I can think back to what I was thinking. I was like, man, I was thinking I was a little bit off my game, and I was thinking that like I'm just hitting things wrong, and I needed to compress suspension and keep the front wheel lighter, because I'm like, normally this bike doesn't feel quite like this. At least my 250XE doesn't feel like quite like this, but it still felt like less feedback was coming through my hands than when I was riding the Beta. I mean, that's kind of startling to think about, but that's how I was feeling right now in this moment. I've got a flat front tire, and I still felt like this bike was more cush and more supple than that Beta was feeling for the 2 or 3 hours before this that I rode it. Kind of crazy to think about that.